Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video I'm going to talk about the distinct method which we have in the stream, right? We'll try to understand how distinct method works. So first we'll go and we'll see that the distinct method definition. So press Ctrl, click on the distinct. You can see that we have something called distinct here. The distinct, what is the return type of this distinct? The return type is the stream of the object. What is T? Which is nothing but the type of object on which you are going to perform the distinct operations, right? So return type is the stream of object. Now we need to see that like how this works, right? So this is your list, where in the list you have certain data, where you have some data as an duplicate also. So when you call this method, when you call list.stream, and what is the return type of list of stream? It is the stream of string, because the stream return type is the stream of object. You can see that here it's a stream of object, which means a stream of a string. What is the type of object you are storing? A string. So when you say dot distinct, so when you perform dot distinct, what it will do, it will remove all the duplicate data from this, and then you are running a for each loop, right? So when you say a distinct, what is the data you are going to get here? So let me show you by showing the return type, distinct return type. You will get a stream only, okay? You will get a stream of a string. Then on this distinct, basically you can do dot for each. When you do dot for each, what input it will take? It will take input as a consumer. You can see that input, it will take a consumer, and by now we know that how to write a consumer. We can write consumer like this. Consumer, press Ctrl, click on consumer, go inside that. It has only one method, accept method. Consumer has no return type. So whatever you will consume, right, it will not have any return type. It will just process your data. That's it, no return type. So consumer, I am going to write here a string because my list has a string type of data. Then we have this consumer is equal to this is my data. I don't need to write parenthesis because there is only one data, and then I'm going to just print. So this is my consumer, right? So I can take the consumer from here and I can supply it here. So this is my consumer. You can see that the same thing you can write in the one line also. After distinct, you can write dot for each, and then you can supply the consumer. So it's up to you how do you want to write that. So this will print your distinct data. Now the same distinct, and if you remember in the previous video I was talking about the collect method. So once the distinct data we have, we want to collect as a list, right? So we want list data. So I'm collecting a collector.toList. So this will give you a fresh list, and that list will not have any duplicate data. You'll get a distinct data. That's how it works. Now if you look at the another list, arrays.asList, I'm creating another list of a string by calling arrays.asList method. So here we have lot of duplicate. So I'm doing that distinct, right, on this list to dot stream dot distinct. So dot till dot distinct, what is the output? You will get a stream of a string here, right? On this distinct you are calling a count method. So when you do a count method, it will count number of object present in the stream, and return type is going to be the long. So the count return type is always long, guys, and I am just printing it. Similarly on this stream I am calling a distinct, so I'll get distinct data, which means there is no duplicate, and then I'm trying to collect data, and then I'm doing that collector dot joining. So this also I have covered earlier in my previous video. So this will, when you call this collect method on this stream of a string, and when you say collectors dot joining by comma, it will join everything by comma. Similarly, and again guys, the output is going to be a string. So output is very important. You are converting to the string, your list is getting converted to the string. Now let's see that if I will if let's say I want to join by, let's say, some other delimiter, right, it will get joined by this. So let's run that. Let's analyze the output. See, in beginning I'm running a for each loop here, line number 35, you can see that 35 I'm running a for each loop. That is the reason one by one data got printed. Then line number if you look at 39 here in my Eclipse, you can see that line number 39 I'm printing the new list. So look at the new list, whatever duplicate data was there, right, it was A, C, C, D, D, E, E, then 2 times BB, 2 times EE, right. So whatever duplicate data was there got eliminated and you have distinct data, right. Then there is a list 2 at line number 41 and then you are calling that distinct.count. So if you look at here, A repeated 3 times, B repeated 2 times, C repeated 2 times, which means how much total data which is unique? 3 data, right. So your output is going to be 3. And after that if you look at here, the same distinct on the second list I'm just joining by comma. So you can see that since 3 data, it will get joined by comma, and then I'm joining by hashes, so it will get joining by hashes, right. So that's how distinct work. Basically what it will do, it will give you the distinct of data. Now second example we will focus here. So second example, what I'm trying to do that is I'm trying to show you what happens when you don't write distinct and what happens when you write the string. When you write the distinct, so we know that a student class, in a student class, if you remember on my very first video I have explained, I have one method, static in nature, which will give you a list of a student, right. And a student object has 2 data, name and age, and you are adding to the list, you are returning to the list, and you are returning the same list. Now when I come back here and when I say it's a student dot get number of list, so what is the return type of this? List, right. So since it is list, I can directly call here a stream. I can directly call here a stream, and once I will have a stream of a student, which is a return type of this stream method, right. A stream of a student, like type of object, this stream has a student type of object. I can call dot for each, and for each will take a consumer. So consumer means it will process the data based on the consumer. So I will write X arrow, and then I will write here one curly braces. So inside that I will try to process the data. So what I can do, I can write here in one CISO, and I can write here X dot get name, because X is nothing but a student object. So I can call both the method plus X dot get age. So this is your without using distinct. Now on the same example, you can see that here after the stream I'm calling the distinct, and then I'm running a for each loop, right. So we can see that there will be a difference in the output. When we don't call distinct, what happens is entire data will get printed. You can see that all data got printed, right. All data got printed, but when I called distinct here, all your duplicate data got removed. But can you focus here? Can you see that why data got removed? See, we need to understand, guys. First thing is we are inserting the object here. So even though inside the object the data is duplicate, but your object is not duplicate, then how come based on data filtering happened? How come this based on data happened, right? Because your student object is always a fresh object, so this cannot be duplicate. No chance, there is no way it can be duplicate. If you remember now, when I was talking about long back, there is a concept where we can remove the duplicacy by overriding the hash code and equals method as a part of core Java. Now it came to the picture. So I am overriding hash code and equals method. So you know that whenever you store the data inside the list, these two things will get called. right? So generally in list this will not get called because we don't overwrite. In case of list we don't do that, but yes, in case of set we do that. To avoid the duplicacy, we override the hash code and equals method. So if you look at the hash code, I am manipulating the hash code, right? You can see that I am manipulating the hash code and I am manipulating the equals also. In equals, what I am trying to do that is I am checking that if the name and age is equal, return true. So basically I am overriding the hash code and equals method, and these two methods are helping me to achieve the uniqueness. Otherwise there is no point I can achieve the uniqueness. If I will go and comment this is the very big concept I have covered when I was talking about code Java. You can see my collections framework video if you have any doubt on this. So if I comment this now and if I will go and run that, you will not see any difference even though you are calling a distinct, guys, right? You can see that this is without distinct, all data got printed, and then this is after distinct. So you can see that all duplicate data is getting printed because it's a fresh object which you are storing. So distinct will understand that your every object is a fresh object, right? Because a student, if you look at, every object is a fresh object since it is a custom object. Since it is a custom object, we need to override the hash code and equals method to remove the duplicacy, right? To remove the duplicacy we have to override, otherwise we cannot do that in case of custom object. If it is not a custom object, if it is instance type, then this will be taken care. This distinct will taken care, which I have shown you also in my when I was talking about example on here. I was showing that, right, this list of data is not a custom object, so here it was taken care. But the moment your data comes as a custom object, you need to override the hash code and equals method. With this I'll close the video. We are done with distinct also. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this.